Young writer Kevin used to be hyper focused on having an amazeballs opening line. Current Kevin is a bit embarrassed by how much attention I gave opening lines. I thought opening lines had to have this insane level of after it, and they just don't. They're supposed to hook the reader, not send someone into ecstasy. In honor of young Kevin's naivete, today we're going to take some nasty first lines and we're going to write the first page, making the first line not be so bad. Or at least that's the plan. A couple months ago, I actually reached out in a community post hoping for some community participation, but no one bit. So instead, I went to Reddit, and that led me to the Bulwer-Lytton Fiction Contest. Contestants literally compete to write horrible first lines, or the first lines to horrible novels. It's epic. Let's peruse the site and find some absolutely disgusting first lines to redeem. So the grand prize winner, the worst opening line, 2024, was "She had a body that reached out and slapped my face like a 5-pound ham hock tossed from a speeding truck." That's gonna be my opening line. Oof. Potential issues I'm seeing here is, first, I don't even know what ham hock is, so let's Google it real quick. Okay, ham hocks, also known as pork knuckles, are the joint where a pig's foot connects to its leg. So it's ankle, I guess, but I don't know if pigs really have ankles. They have hocks, apparently. That's just like a weird body part to compare to a person at all. And especially this image of it being thrown from, what was it, a semi? Just a truck? The image is great, but applying it to a person, I don't even know what I'm going to do with that. Now I got to come up with a plan. I don't know. I really don't know. There's a couple elements here I can pull off of to try to create a page of a good story. There's two people, a girl and then my face. They know something about hogs and potentially have, I don't know, something related to trucks in their personality or traffic. I'm also seeing maybe a romance element. It also could be, it's just so weird. I'm coming up with something, I think. I think I've got a plan. I'm going to go with something Napoleon Dynamite-esque. This just reminds me of that scene in Napoleon Dynamite where Uncle Rico, is that his name? Throws that steak at Napoleon and hits him in the face. It's like, this is the exact thing. Just they changed the food. So I'm thinking, because it says body though, that this has got to be somewhat of a romance happening, even if it is like enemies to lovers, or like this is not the person that they're interested in. And this is like a bad first date. Okay, I'm going with bad first date inspired by Napoleon Dynamite. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm loving this right now. For such a horrible line, this is solid gold. I felt like after that first paragraph, our main character Clayton might not be very likable, so I wanted to give him some kind of conscience, if that makes sense. Hopefully that does it. Feeling pretty good about this image of her stumbling through the bar, especially because it adds some more character to, and some more voice and tone to our main character Clayton. However, I'm feeling a little bit like I'm spending a lot of time on describing how horrible this girl is. So it's time to get into a conversation of some kind. I really like this paragraph because Clayton's coming off a little bit less of just a straight up jerk and more of a self-aware jerk. It's reminding the reader that she lied to him. He's upset. And I think that also helps redeem his character a little bit. Right now, this girl has a subtle vibe to what she looks like, and Clayton has no description whatsoever. So I'm kind of thinking I probably won't get into Clayton's description quite yet. At least, unless I edit it, maybe it would come up in this portion. But I'm thinking I'm going to describe this girl now so we can get a better idea of what she looks like and not just this weird vibe of the ham hock thing. I think we gotta get into their conversation probably, and it's gonna be awkward. All right, I'm stopping there. I got a page. I don't know. I think I've got something here. I'm pretty satisfied with this little write-up, especially for our first draft. This is fun. This is solid. I think we might be on to something with this little experiment. I'm going to come back another day and try another horrible first line. But you guys don't have to wait. All right, I'm back for experiment number 2. The last one wasn't necessarily fantasy or sci-fi, so today I'm going to try to get a little bit more specific. Let's see how it goes. All right, let's take a look at this fantasy and horror winner.
Sir Arthur Pendragon, High King of the Britons, son of King Uther Pendragon, nephew of King Aurelius Ambrosius, who was in turn the son of a long list of people who weren't kings and thus don't matter, only slept with his sister once, but boy did it come back to bite him in the ass.
That's, I don't know, the problem is with these that they are stories that have already been written a bunch, because the next one's Harry Potter. And then the Frog Prince. Let me check out what this last one is. Cthulhu awoke from loathsome dreams of gangrenous decay and the foul stench of congealing viscera, lifting his pulpy, misshapen head to find what foolish supplicant had roused him to yet another age of fear and creeping dread, but found his bloodthirst unslacked, having been brought to consciousness not by horror-filled screams of human sacrifice, but by his little sister's overly dramatic wail of Cthulhu's touching me from her side of the family station wagon's back seat. Okay. Oh boy, I have my work cut out for me. It feels a little bit more to me like a short commercial than a full-length novel. So I'm gonna have to set up some good backstory motives, and I don't know. What I'm thinking of so far at this point is that this is normal. Maybe the sister is a demon as well. Maybe the parents don't know. That could be fun. Or maybe the sister knows but the parents don't, and so she has her own like little demonic torture. Little sisters have demonic tendencies. We got a couple issues. One, there's like a pulpy head. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna get around the parents not knowing he's a demon. If his head's pulpy, maybe that's figurative. The other issue is a motive. What's he doing in this? Like, what's the point of coming back? Maybe he has no control over it. That's an idea. But still, he needs something that he does when he comes back to this side of the veil, I guess. We're gonna play around with it, see what happens. sure how I'm feeling about this right now. It's still kind of hokey, which is what I was worried about. The last one I was able to make feel a little bit more real of a story. Right now, this still feels a bit like a joke. All right, I'm done. I feel pretty good about this. It doesn't feel so hokey. I mean, it's still a little bit hokey. I don't think I really could have gotten out of the hokiness just because of the first sentence. I'm feeling pretty good about him having a family in the human world and a family in the underworld. It makes for a unique idea for a story. We definitely don't know his motive at this point. I guess his motive is just to survive the weekend with his dad and sister, but it's not very explicit. So I feel like that's a place where that could be improved if I were to go back and edit this a bunch. I feel pretty good with what I came up with based on what I had to start with. Solid writing session. All right, we're gonna do one more tonight, and I think that's gonna be the end of this experiment. I'm gonna go with adventure this time and see what the winner looks like. As Nils Nordgrund struggled mightily, treading water to stay afloat, while grimly watching from a distance the Norwegian oil tanker he captained slowly sink in the treacherously dark and stormy seas off Murmansk, he gave no thought to whether the Giants had any chance at a pennant win this year. I think this one's gonna beat me. I think it's gonna blow up my experiment. One, I don't know anything about Norway, which, I think I can get away with that for the first page, especially since this is just an experiment and not like I have to actually have a legit novel out of this. The bigger problem is just how poorly written this is. The other ones I've done so far have been extra or weird ideas or things that were just kind of awkward. If I read this, I would immediately put it down. Some of the other ones, it's okay, that was weird, and keep going and see what happens. But this is just a bad start to a bad novel. As plans go, I feel like I need to reread it because it's the wording is so bad. Actually, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rewrite it in a way that makes more sense to me and then come back and tell you what my plans are. Okay, I've got my new paragraph and I have a plan. He's treading water. So I've got to figure out how to get him from the middle of the ocean to something, anything. And then I'll have to complete it because I just have to get a page written. There's a lot of details that should be in this first sentence that aren't, in place of just the dumb adverbs that don't need to be there. I feel like I'm having to make up for this first sentence a lot by coming up with the details, filling in the blanks that the original sentence leaves. I mean, you can't do everything with a sentence, but it would have been really easy to give a little bit more. I think I'm probably going to reread and see if I can beef up what I've got so far. I really don't know what else to put on this page to fill it up before he passes out. And maybe I could just have him pass out and then start a new section. I don't know. We'll see what happens. After some pretty solid deliberation, I'm changing this first sentence. One small change. It's still gonna be trash. The grammar of it is driving me crazy that like there's nowhere to focus on it. So I'm going to split it into 2 sentences, and I'm moving this last, I don't know, whatever that was, here. I'm gonna have to change the grammar of this sentence just a little bit. Hopefully this doesn't make you guys think that this experiment is broken. It's still bad, but at least there's some kind of grammar functionality here. I feel a little bit like that was cheating, but I feel like I was able to fix the grammar a little bit without eliminating the horribleness that this opening is. Okay, I'm gonna reread what I've got so far, potentially update, and we'll see. This one was hard. I did the best I could with this. I feel relatively good about it. It's got that adventure, and now you have a tease at a love interest, which is pretty necessary if this is like a James Bond type story. This was beyond difficult for me this time. There you have it. What do you guys think? Did I succeed or fail miserably at this challenge? Does the first line matter? Can you salvage a bad first line with a solid story? If you're wondering, but how do I write a solid opening, a solid first page? Click the card right here to find out.